Hello everyone and welcome to another tips video. As you've requested in a previous video, I'll explain you all the meta tips in GeoGuessr and they will help you figure out which country you're in when you're playing Battle Royale. I hope you find them helpful, and if you do, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. First of all, what is meta? In gaming, meta can be described as finding loopholes to be as effective as possible in order to win the game. And when playing GeoGuessr in particular, the meta would be everything that wouldn't be there in the game if you were in that exact location in real life. So this is not going to be a video about the license plates because you can't see them in real life if you were at that exact location. But it is, for example, clues about the Google car or about the rifts in the sky. And that's something that you won't see in real life, but you can see in Google Street View. I will explain the tips based on 5 types of meta clues. The first one is the Google car itself. The second one is the follow car. The third one is the rifts in the sky. The fourth one is the camera generations. And the last one is the camera height. So let's get into this. We'll start off with the roof rack on the Google car. If you pan down when being dropped in a location, you can sometimes see a roof rack on the Google car, and this can be seen in certain countries. The first one is Guatemala. If you see a roof rack and the side mirrors are visible, as you can see here, then you're probably in Guatemala. You can also see the roof rack in Mongolia. The side mirrors will be visible and they will be green and red. And especially in rural Mongolia, you will see camping equipment on the front of the car, as you can see here. The next country is Kyrgyzstan, where you will also see the roof rack. The side mirrors will also be visible and they will be black and white. Next up is Senegal. Senegal also has a roof rack, but Senegal can be easily distinguishable by looking at the sky, as you will see these cracks in the sky that you can see here. They're also called rifts, and I'll explain later in this video what other countries you can see them in. If you see these cracks as well as a roof rack, it will always be Senegal. Another country with a roof rack is Ghana, but other than the previously mentioned countries, the roof rack of Ghana will have some black tape on the front right of the roof rack. So if you see that, it's Ghana. The next African country with a roof rack is Kenya. Now, Kenya will be easy to recognize as it's the only country where the Google car will have a front mirror that looks like a snorkel. The snorkel can be on the left side or on the right hand side of the car, as you can see in both examples here. You can sometimes see the roof rack in certain parts of Bangladesh as well, and if it happens, the side mirrors and part of the car will be visible and they will have the Google colors that you can clearly see here. Occasionally you can also find roof racks in Nigeria, and when that occurs, the rack will be in black and yellow, as you can see here. Enough with the roof racks. Now I'll explain some countries where the Google car has some characteristics that can help you narrow down the countries it can be. If you look down in Argentina or in Uruguay, you will notice that the back of the Google car will almost always have a black part of the car that's visible. If you see that in South America, it's likely to be Argentina or Uruguay. Keep in mind that in Peru and sometimes Colombia, you can also see the black Google car, even though in some coverage it can also be white. If you're in South America and you see that the back of the car is white instead of black, as you can see here, then it's highly likely that you're either in Bolivia or in Colombia. We stay in South America because in Ecuador you can mostly see the antenna of the Google car. As you can see here, there's a small antenna visible, and it's not always there, but when you see it in South America, try guessing Ecuador and you might be right. To finish off South America, the next country is Chile. In Chile, you can sometimes see a large white part of the Google car to be visible, and as opposed to it just being a ghostly haze in Colombia and Bolivia, it's thicker and it's an actual part of the car. So if you see that, it's most likely to be Chile. Now we move on to Africa with Uganda. Uganda is easily recognizable as it's a white Google car with both the rear side mirrors and part of the car itself being visible. In the southernmost countries of Africa, the Google car will also be white and you will see a white haze on the back of the car. If you see that in Africa, it's going to be either South Africa, Lesotho, Eswatini or Botswana. If you ever doubt between Jordan and UAE, have a look at the Google car, because in Jordan you will see that the car will be black, while in UAE the car will be rather white. So this trick can help you distinguish both countries. In Sri Lanka, you will sometimes see blue, white, and red, which are the colors of the French flag, in the front of the car. It's not always there, so it can be tricky, but when you see it, you can be pretty certain that it is Sri Lanka. The next one is the Philippines. As in this country, you can sometimes see the white outline of the back of the car. And as far as I know, that's the only country in Southeast Asia where you can notice this. So it can help you recognize the Philippines in Battle Royale. Now we move on to Europe, and more specifically Norway and Denmark, because in those two countries you can sometimes see some blue and yellow outlines on the back of the car. It's not always clearly visible, but if you see it, it's going to be either Norway or Denmark. The last one in the Google car section is going to be Ukraine and Russia. These two countries can be hard to tell apart, but the Google card might give you some clues, because in Ukraine the Google car is mostly red, while in Russia the Google car is black, and sometimes you can notice it. The second type of meta clue are the so-called rifts in the sky. No, your screen is not broken, but it's a glitch in Google Street View that only happens in certain countries. And the first country this happens in is Senegal, as we already discussed before. So if you see a roof rack and these cracks in the sky, it's always Senegal. There's two other countries in Europe that will have these rifts in the sky, and they are Albania and Montenegro. So it's always worth it to quickly have a look at the sky in Battle Royale if you're in Eastern Europe, as it might be one of those two countries. Do keep in mind though that in some parts of Albania and Montenegro, the cracks in the sky are not there, so it doesn't mean you can rule those two countries out. The third type of clue is the follow car. If you're playing GeoGuessr and you feel like you're being followed by another car, you're not being paranoid, but you're likely to be in Nigeria. Because in this country, there's a car that will escort the Google car, and sometimes it's a Toyota four-wheel drive, but in some cases it can also be a police car, as you can see here. The next type of meta clues is the camera generations. There are 4 generations of Google Street View quality, Gen 1 to Gen 4, with Gen 1 being the oldest quality and Gen 4 being the newest quality. Some countries only have specific generation footage available, so this type of clue can help you determine in what country you are. You can recognize Generation 1 as it has blurry image quality. If it is Gen 1, it can only be the USA, Canada, or as seen in this example, Australia, because they are the only countries where Gen 1 footage is available. Gen 2, on the other hand, has brighter colors, but it's still inferior quality compared to Gen 3 and 4. An example of Gen 2 footage is Germany, as this country only has Gen 2 available and no Gen 3 and 4. By the way, Germany can also be recognized by a lot of blurred out houses, which has given them the nickname of Blurmany within the GeoGuessr community. Generation 3 and 4 will have a better image quality. Sometimes the difference between both can be hard to distinguish, but Gen 4 will have some more vivid colors compared to Gen 3, as can be seen in this example of Norway, which features Generation 4, whereas Bolivia features Generation 3. There is a spreadsheet which is created by Allok, so big shout out to him, and it features all of the countries and what generation coverage has been available. So for example here you can see that Bangladesh only has Gen 3 available, but Australia has all 4 generation coverages available in Google Street View. I will post a link in the description so you can check it out yourself as well. It's really, really helpful. And then the last type of meta clue is the Google camera height, because there are 2 countries where the camera is lower to the ground, and those are Japan and Switzerland. So if you feel like you're lower to the ground and your car is bigger, that means that you're either in Japan or in Switzerland. So these were all the meta clues that are in the game and that you won't see if you would be in that exact location in real life. I hope you found it helpful and you can win more Battle Royale games now. Let me know in the comments if you do. And yeah, if I speak for myself, I'm always confused if I'm walking in real life and I see a four-wheel drive with a snorkel, as I thought they only existed in Kenya. So that always cracks me up. Leave a comment if there's something I forgot or if you have some tips yourself. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And I hope to see you in another video. Thanks, everyone. Bye.